Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna talk about the optimal tire temperatures for each tire compound on the F1 2021 game, so you optimize your lap time and also manage your tires better to maximize your pace on track. And I'm currently in an online practice session just by myself because you can start them alone. So first things, we're gonna talk about dry and inters and wet. So I'm gonna change after this one to show you what we're gonna do. This is actually hopefully, like I always say, a little bit quicker rundown here. So first of all, let's drag up the tire temperatures, okay? Because this is what this video will be all about. The dry compounds all work the same. From my understanding at least, all of the compounds work exactly the same. You can see beneath 80 degree tires, the tires are turning blue, like it turns into a lighter green, like kind of blue-greenish. And then at 78, 77, they start turning green. And the most important one is the tire carcass, so the inside. The surface also matters a lot, but usually you cannot control the surface too much. It's more important for the start, but this is a different story. Right now, I just want you guys to focus on the main thing, which is the carcass temperature. So the one with the thick inner blue. So the outside blue is the surface, the inner blue, like the top one, is the tire carcass. And this is the one that kind of determines all grip. You can still overheat with the surface, but it's usually changing quicker, so it's something that I want you to focus on. You control the tire carcass with the tire surface. That's the thing. But so what we're doing is, right now you can see they cool down to 55, but the working window starts at 85. Even though at 80 they are already green, at 85 you start having more grip. That's where you have 100% grip. So now we are heating it up. You can see already the tire surface is much greener and much more on temperature. And with that, like if I turn a bit more to the right, you can see the tire surface on the right side getting hotter, especially on the front right. If I, for example, accelerate, only the rears heat up and overheat, you can now see, okay, the rears are up to temperature 85 degrees. That is what we are aiming for. That's the minimum that you should always have. Like 85 for the beginning of a quali lap is optimal, so you don't overheat, but you also don't have too little grip. So kind of 85 into the first turn is perfect. Let's get it up to temperature. So I want to show you. So from here on, now we have every single tire aside from the front left. Now we should also have the front left in the working window. Yeah, every single tire is in the working window, which is exactly what we are aiming for. Balancing them all out to exactly the same temperature is near to impossible. And I now want to let you know, like this applies for softs, mediums and the hard compound. So 85 degrees, between 85 and 90 degrees is what you are aiming for the beginning of a quali lap, let's say. But also in the race, that's when they are working. So if we are spinning around now, so you can see they are going up quickly, and at 100 degrees it's already getting critical. But I think from 103 degrees onwards, at 104 they start turning yellow. So until 103 you still have more or less the same grip, and then they start overheating and you're starting to lose grip. So from 85 to 103 to 104 degrees, you're still in a window where you can gain lap time, but from there onwards you are losing grip, okay? So 105 and whatever is losing your grip. I will quickly show you. I mean, the most of you know it anyways, but let's see. So we have 103 now, 106, this is way too hot of course, but now look at me going on the power. I've of course also have dirty tires, but now in this corner we probably lose the rear, or it's starting to get twitchy because the grip is fading. And that is because they are overheating, so we're already over the working window. Let's cool them down a bit. Let's see if we can cool them below the 104 degrees. Come on. 103. That is kind of where they still work. Now it's 104 left, but we are now back in the working window. You will see in turn 1 I won't have any struggles with rear grip. All fine. So 85 to something like 100 is totally fine, and now we are switching already to the inters. Let's have a look there. So we are now actually going on track with intermediate compounds in intermediate conditions, and I will show you what the working temperature is. So you can see already the surface is getting too cold, so it's below 50 degrees where it's getting way too cold. And 63 on the surface, carcass, sorry. So the minimum temperature you want on these tires is 65 degrees. That's the minimum. And the working window, I believe, I don't have it in mind right now. We will see it in a second. If this one is higher than the wets, but I think they are. I think they are going until 90 degrees. So you're kind of aiming for something like 65 at least, a little bit above to be on the safe side, because usually they cool down quickly in the wets. I would probably recommend you to go always for 70 degree tires at the start of a quali lap or in your formation lap or whatever. Now let's see. When we are spinning. When are they overheating? Is it 80? No, 80 is still fine. Yeah. So you're kind of aiming for something like a maximum of 85 degrees. That's where you're probably already losing a bit of grip, but from 89 it's getting critical. So something 85 to 88 is still on the safe side, and then at 90 they are overheating and they're just turning into this slippery, over slippery thing. Let's see. Okay, I have the default set on right now, so it's a bit harder to lose the car, but you get what I mean. It's becoming impossible to control, and you're definitely losing lap time. So let's say 65 to 85, just to be on the safe side. It can last until 88 or 87. Just aim for 85 at a max, and that's where you can control the intermediate condition tire. So, to the final tire compound that's relevant, the wet compound. Because we have the softs, we have the inters, and now the wet compound. The wet compound, I believe, is only working until 80 degrees. I have to quickly check when they are too cool. I think it's at 50 degrees. I think something between 60 and 75 degrees is what you're aiming for. That's a 15 degree window. Let's see, when are they cooling down too much? I think it's below 60 when they're getting cool. Yeah, 59 is already light green. If I'm not completely blind. And now they are starting to get really cold, yeah. So you're aiming for 60 degrees minimum temperature to make them work and have maximum grip. You can also go for a bit higher if the track is not really causing too much trouble on tire temperature. But now talking about the maximum. So look, it's actually quite hard to get them on temperature if you don't wheel spin or anything, because you can see the surface temperature is dropping so quick that it's really hard to keep your wets in a working window. The fronts are actually too cold, so always keep in mind, rather have a tiny bit more temperature on most tracks, especially the ones where there's a lot of straights and less corner load. Let's see if we are spinning around. What are the rears saying? I think it's working until 80 degrees and then they are overheating. Yeah, at 79 they're already turning yellow, so I would say between 75 and 78 that's the maximum. It's again this little bit of couple of more temperatures window where they still give you grip, but now you can already see it's getting twitchy on the power. There's of course also a big imbalance, but yeah. So in summary, the dries work between 85 and 104, 103, something like that. Maybe just aim for the 100 and a little bit above is okay, but don't ever get close to the 105 because that's when you lose temperature. In the intermediates, you have a 65 to, let's say, 85 window. And in the wets, you have a 60 to 75 window of tire temperature in the carcass. And don't forget, you control the carcass mainly with the surface temperature. That controls it because it comes from the outside, turns into the inside, and it's really sensitive. Don't worry too much about the surface, mainly about the carcass. If you have the carcass right, you usually have the surface right, and that's how I do it. And that's how you will also gain pace. In case you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more videos, and also check out the socials, Instagram, TikTok, and whatsoever, Twitch. See you around, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.